Thanks for joining us today as we take an in-depth look into why churches are shutting their doors. Today, we are visiting a church in LaVale, Maryland, where a multitude of complaints have been pouring in about the new pastor. The church paid our film crew $375,000 to make this documentary so that their pastor could win a video contest and be sent to Nashville. As we entered the church office, we found out this was not an ordinary pastor. He wanted to play his banjo for us, and he invited us to film the next Sunday at church. As we arrived, we realized there was no parking. People were forced to park in the grass, or even blocks away. People were not happy.
Ever since this new pastor's been here, there's nowhere to park. I have to park in the grass. I'm never coming back here.
Some had to walk through the swampy grass, while others simply left. Ever since this new pastor came, church has been completely full, yet the pastor refuses to add additional seating. Last Sunday, we actually saw people leaving the church because there was nowhere to sit. In fact, the pastor has removed 7 to 10 seats in order to put in his new desk. Luckily, one of the people who left last week has returned, angrily that is, to seek his revenge.
Ever since they got this new pastor, there's so many new people here. There's nowhere to sit on Sundays. Hello.
Hi.
You're in my spot.
Excuse me?
You're in my spot.
Pardon me, sir, but I didn't see a name on the seat.
Oh, my name's Mike, and now you know, that's my spot.
I'm sorry, sir, but I'm comfortable sitting here.
Of course you are. That's why it's my spot. I have sat in that spot since I was born. In 1972, my mother held me in that very spot. She fed me a bottle in that very spot.
That's special.
This is the perfect spot. It's not too hot, not too cold, not too bright, not too dark, not too loud, not too quiet. I can see the pastor and both the monitors just perfect.
How about over there? No one's sitting there.
Too loud.
How about over there?
Too bright.
How about there?
Too hot.
How about up there?
I'm scared of heights.
How about over there?
Have you gone mad? Have you lost your mind?
What's wrong with there?
No member of my family has ever sat on that side of the church.
What's wrong with that side?
Don't even get me started.
You're not going to leave, are you?
No.
Okay, how about I sit over there?
That would be great, but only if you're sure. Old friend, I'm back. She seems nice. It's a shame she sits over there.
This new pastor is all about change and bringing the church into the 21st century. Yet instead of getting a bigger parking lot, the preacher actually brought in a youth ministry team to play drums during one Sunday service.
Yeah, so we began changing a few things. There was a generation missing from the church. We didn't have the younger people like we wanted. So, we did bring drums in. And how did that go over? Well, like a fart in a spacesuit. I guess I thought I had more people with me than I did. And something went wrong.
The drums were so loud it hurt people's ears, and many people were very offended.
Yeah, Pastor Frankie's great. I mean, he just brought so much music into the church. And the drums, the banjo, well, some people in the church don't like the drums.
You know, this business of bringing in drums, I mean, if I want to hear a drum set, I'll go to the Honey Bar up at the lake. I mean, you know, I'm not coming to church for that.
The drums aren't what bother me. You know what I really think happened with this church when it started to go downhill? When they brought in that hillbilly banjo-picking pastor. That's what the problem is. You know?
I heard that.
Yeah.
We asked this disgruntled parishioner if we could sit in on a meeting with her and the pastor.
And I think everything was going fine until this one came.
You know, no matter how hard you try, there will be some people who just don't buy the vision.
The two got into quite an argument.
And you're really peeving me off.
What did I do about it? Well, I just looked at her and I said, honey, it's better to get peeved off than peeved on.
We caught up with some other church-going youngsters to see what they had to say about the pastor.
I told Pastor Frankie he needed a gym, but he said we didn't have enough money.
Didn't have enough money, but the pastor had enough money to approve his $16,000 annual salary.
Yeah.
The neighborhood children are forced to shoot at a hoop with no net and a broken backboard. The backboard isn't the only thing broken. We found actual video evidence of Pastor Frankie publicly beating up a church official during a sermon.
Well, you know, it got to the point that so many people started to push back that I started to fear for my safety. So I started to take this Krav Maga class, which is like this Israeli martial art that they teach the Israeli army. And unfortunately, it got to the point where, yeah, I did have to rough some of them up.
After finding bloodstains on the carpet, we set out to find this attack victim.
Pastor Frankie is the best pastor, really. I'm not afraid of him at all.
Other people want to see the pastor succeed as well.
I hope Pastor Frankie wins. That way we don't have to deal with him for a week.
We caught up with hundreds of people who had complaints for the pastor.
I keep telling Pastor Frankie that we need to sing more in church. I think we should sing more. I think the choir should sing at least 3 or 4 more times every service. I come to church to sing praises to Jesus.
Sing, sing, sing. He's always making us sing. We came to hear a sermon.
I think church ought to be at least 4 hours long. You know, he's preparing us for paradise, and all we're giving him is an hour a week and complaining about that. That's a problem.
They need to make church shorter so I can go home and watch football.
To conclude this documentary, I believe that, you know, this pastor, he just isn't quite cut out for... Oh, hey! You know that Pastor Frankie Revell? He's a swell guy, you know. He's probably the best pastor I've ever had the honor of making a documentary about, you know. He just gets people, and he's qualified, and he should definitely win the contest, you know. And then at the end, I'll add that scene where you're like punching. Okay, that's how we'll end it.